This is a Bigjigs Mallard battery-operated engine. LNER Class A44468 Mallard is a 462 Pacific steam locomotive built in 1938 for operation on the London and North Eastern Railway, LNER, at Doncaster Works to a design of Nigel Gresley. Its streamlined, wind tunnel-tested design allowed it to haul long-distance express passenger services at high speeds. On July 3, 1938, Mallard broke the world speed record for steam locomotives at 126 miles per hour, 203 kilometers per hour, which still stands today. While in British Railways days regular steam-hauled rail services in the UK were officially limited to a 90 miles per hour line speed, before the war, the A4S had to run significantly above 90 miles per hour just to keep schedule on trains such as the Silver Jubilee and the Coronation, with the engines reaching 100 miles per hour on many occasions. Mallard covered almost 1.5 million miles, 2.4 million kilometers, before it was retired in 1963. The locomotive is 70 feet, 21 meters, long and weighs 165 tons, including the tender. It is painted LNER Garter blue with red wheels and steel rims. Mallard is now part of the National Collection and preserved at the National Railway Museum in York. In 1936, Nigel Gresley, the sole chief mechanical engineer of the LNER, ordered a new batch of 6462 Pacific Class A4 engines to be built at Doncaster Works. The A4S were known for their distinct streamlined and aerodynamic design, and designed for hauling long-distance express passenger services at high speeds. The first batch comprised 4 locomotives which entered service in 1935, and had silver in their names as they were to haul the non-stop the Silver Jubilee service between London King's Cross and Newcastle. The 6 new A4S were named after a bird, influenced by Gresley's fondness of breeding wild birds, and incorporated some modifications to maximize the possibilities of the original streamlined design. This included a new, state-of-the-art double keelchat chimney and blast pipe, allowing the smoke to be distributed more freely. However, the problem of smoke being dispersed at the front of the locomotive, in turn giving drivers only a narrow viewing window, remained unsolved. And Gresley was determined to find a solution, using Mallard, the 28th A4 locomotive, as a test. It was solved after a wooden model at 1/12 th of the original size of Mallard was made to undergo smoke tests in a wind tunnel setting, using a tunnel made of plasticine. After a period of testing, a solution to deflect the smoke was found, and the modification was incorporated into Mallard's final design. Mallard was released from Doncaster Works and entered service on March 3, 1938, carrying the number of 4468. It wore a variety of liveries throughout its career. These were Garter Blue as 4468, LNER Wartime Black from June 13, 1942. Later Wartime Black with the tender marked as NE from October 21, 1943 as 22 with yellow small stenciled numbers. Post-war Garter Blue with white and red lining from March 5, 1948 with stainless steel cabside number 22. British Railways Dark Blue as 60022 from September 16, 1949. Brunswick Green from July 4, 1952, and its original LNER Garter Blue for preservation in 1963. The A4 class was built with streamlined valances, or side skirting, but this was removed during the war to ease maintenance. Mallard lost its valances during a works visit June 13, 1942, regaining them in preservation in 1963. Mallard was fitted with 12 boilers during its 25-year career. These boilers were 9024 from construction, 8959 from 4496 Golden Shuttle, June 13, 1942, 8907 from 2511 Silver King, August 1, 1946, 8948 from 31 Golden Plover, Walter K. Wigham, January 10, 1951, 29,301 from 60019 Bittern, July 4, 1952, 29,315 from 60014 Silver Link, April 23, 1954, 29,328, new build boiler, June 7, 1957. 29,308, from 60008 Dwight D. Eisenhower, August 27, 1958. 29,310, from 60009 Union of South Africa, March 9, 1960. And 27965, from 60009 Union of South Africa, August 10, 1961. Mallard has had 7 tenders throughout its career. It started off with a non-corridor tender in 1938, had corridor design tenders during its British Railways days, and was fitted with a non-corridor tender in 1963 to recreate its original appearance. The tenders it has been fitted with are 5642, March 3, 1938 to March 14, 1939, 5639, May 5, 1939 to January 16, 1948. 5323, March 5, 1948 to March 12, 1953, 5648, March 12, 1953 to July 21, 1958, 5330, August 27, 1958 to May 30, 1962, 5651, May 30, 1962 to April 25, 1963, and 5670, current tender, masquerading as original tender 5642. The original non-corridor tender 5642 was later coupled to sister locomotive 60,026 miles Beaver, when it was withdrawn on December 21, 1965, but later came into the possession of the A4 Preservation Society, who had purchased this locomotive from the scrapyard to assist the restoration of classmate 4498 Sir Nigel Gressley. It was scrapped in 1973 as being surplus to requirements, by which time it had also donated parts to the restoration of A3 class locomotive 4472 Flying Scotsman, which had recently returned from America and was being restored at Derby workshops. Mallard was allocated to 3 sheds during its career, Doncaster, transferring on October 21, 1943 to Grantham, and on April 11, 1948 to King's Cross Top Shed. On July 3, 1938, Mallard claimed the world speed record for steam locomotives at 126 miles per hour, 203 kilometers per hour, during a trial run of a new, quick-acting brake, known as the Westinghouse QSA brake. The speed was achieved during the downward grade of Stokebank, south of Grantham at milepost 90 and a quarter, between Little Bytham and Essendine stations. Mallard hauled a 7-coach train, including a dynamometer car which housed apparatus to record the speed. Its record surpassed the previous speed of 124.5 miles per hour, 200.4 kilometers per hour, set in Germany in 1936 by DRG Class 050. Mallard was just 4 months old at the time of the record, and was operated by driver Joseph Duddington, a man renowned within the LNER for taking calculated risks, and fireman Thomas Bray. Upon arrival at London King's Cross, driver Duddington and Inspector Sid Jenkins were quoted as saying that they thought a speed of 130 miles per hour would have been possible if the train did not need to slow for a set of junctions at Essendine. There was also a permanent speed restriction of 15 miles per hour just north of Grantham Station, which slowed the train as they sought to build up maximum speed for the descent of Stoke Bank. The A4 class previously had problems with the big end bearing for the middle cylinder, so the big end was fitted with a stink bomb of aniseed oil, which would be released if the bearing overheated. After attaining the record speed, the middle big end on Mallard did overheat reduced speed, running at 70 to 75 miles per hour, 113 to 121 kilometers per hour, onwards to Peterborough, and was sent to Doncaster Works for repair. This had been foreseen by the publicity department, who had many pictures taken for the press, in case Mallard did not make it back to King's Cross. The Edwardian period, Ivat Atlantic that replaced Mallard at Peterborough was only just in sight when the head of publicity started handing out the pictures. Mallard topped Stokebank at 75 miles per hour, 121 kilometers per hour, and accelerated downhill. Speeds could be calculated by measuring the distance between the timing marks. Immediately after the run staff and the dynamometer car calculated the speed over 5-second intervals. finding a maximum of 125 miles per hour. Although 126 miles per hour was seen for a single second, Gressley would not accept this as a reliable measurement, and 125 miles an hour was the figure published. Gressley planned to have another attempt in September 1939, but this was prevented by the outbreak of World War II. In 1948, plaques proposed and designed by Harry Underwood, a headmaster and keen steam enthusiast, were fixed onto the locomotive, which stated 126 miles an hour, and this became the generally accepted speed. Despite this, some writers have commented on the implausibility of the rapid changes in speed. A recent analysis has claimed that the paper roll was not moving at a constant rate, and the peaks and troughs in the speed curve resulting in claims of 125 miles per hour held for 5 seconds and 126 miles per hour for 1 second were just a result of this measuring inaccuracy. It concluded that a verifiable maximum speed being a sustained 124 miles per hour, 199.36 kilometers per hour for almost a mile. On July 3, 2013, the 75th anniversary of the speed record, all 6 surviving A4 locomotives were brought together at the National Railway Museum. Following the introduction of diesel and electric trains, many steam locomotives across the UK were set to be scrapped. In December 1960, a notification was issued to have Mallard preserved, which was not confirmed until August 29, 1962. Its final revenue-earning service took place on April 25, 1963, after which the locomotive was sent to Doncaster Works for repair and restored to its original condition. In February 1963, Mallard was sent to 9 Elms Depot, followed by the Museum of British Transport Museum in Clapham, South London. It then ran a series of special trains, including a run from Doncaster via Nottingham Victoria to Clapham Junction. Following a relaxation of the ban on steam locomotives in the UK in the 1970s, Mallard hauled a train from Stewart's Lane, Battersea to York via the Midland Main Line and on April 12, 1975 in preparation for the opening of the National Railway Museum, where it remained. This was followed by periods on display at York and Doncaster Works in June 1977 and June 1978, respectively. In the 1980s, Mallard was restored to working order to commemorate the 50th anniversary of its 1938 record speed run. Its first run took place on March 26, 1986 from York to Doncaster, and a series of other special trains were completed across England in 1986 through 1987. The locomotive's final run in operation was on July 3, 1988 from Doncaster to Scarborough and back, which was attended by several family members of the original train crew on the July 3, 1938 run. The trip was related to a special commemorative postage stamp featuring Mallard. In July 2003, Mallard was put on display outside the National Railway Museum as part of the 150th anniversary of Doncaster Works. It was taken outside again in July 2008 beside 3 other preserved A4s located in the UK, thus reuniting them for the first time since preservation. In 2012, 6 preserved A4s, including 2 in the United States and Canada, reunited at the museum for the 75th anniversary of Mallard's recording-breaking run. The same 6 A4s were displayed together at the National Railway Museum Shildon for a short time. In June 2010, Mallard was taken to Shildon, where it remained a static exhibit until July 2011, when it returned to York. In July 2019, it made its first outside appearance since 2014, when it was displayed at York Station alongside a Class 800 Azuma as part of the latter's launch by the London North Eastern Railway. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel.